Hey, it's Sabby here with How to Tilt Brush Part 1, Episode 7. In this episode, I will go over all the brushes available in Tilt Brush version 23 and the Color Picker panel. The Brushes panel is found on the palette controller. Currently, there are 4 pages with 12 brushes on each page for a total of 48 brushes. Turn the pages by clicking the arrows on the bottom or by scrolling with the brush controller's scroll button. The Brushes panel can be removed and replaced in your workspace by intersecting the panel. When it highlights, hold the grip button down to grab it. The illuminated brushes are not generally affected by the lighting in your scene. They emit light, but their emitted light does not reflect off other surfaces in your scene, other than shining through a solid surface. Most brushes are flat like a piece of paper, but can be used to make a painted 3D sculpture or scene. Some of the flat brushes look like they have 3D texture on them, but this is all an illusion created by something called normal maps, which is just an effective way to create visual texture that responds to scene lighting rather than use more geometry to create a 3D surface. There are 3D brushes to work with as well. These brushes have volume to them, and their shape can be seen from all angles. These brushes are great for filling an area quickly. For advanced users, these brushes are more efficient when exporting assets to other 3D apps and platforms like Neo's VR and Blender. Watch How to Tilt Brush Part 3 for techniques on how to export and share your 3D VR artwork. And a quick shout out, Danny Bittman also has a tutorial series explaining how to bring your 3D art into other apps such as Unity, Blender, and Gravity Sketch. Get familiar with the brushes by watching Tilt Brush Experiments, measuring file load of all brushes, where I describe and group each brush and find out which brushes have a heavier file load on computer processing. All the brushes can be snapped to the guides. Resized by using the resize control on the brush controller, made into perfect shapes, and can intersect with each other, but currently cannot be partially erased or colored, stretched, or reshaped. Watch Tilt Brush Secrets, Perfect Shapes, to learn how to make perfect shapes with all the brushes. All links are below in the description. Each brush also has a sound effect when painting. There are currently 21 brushes that are audio reactive and display additional animations. Once you have the audio playing on your computer, just click the audio reactor button with the sound wave icon and Tilt Brush will look for your audio. There will be an audio reactor icon next to each brush, indicating that it's an audio reactive brush. When you use these brushes with the audio reactor toggled on, they'll respond to the beat with their own unique animation. The Color Picker panel is on your palette controller, and it's where you can change the colors for your brush. It can be removed by grabbing it with the grip buttons and then placing it in your workspace. It's then anchored into your workspace and stays in place as you move your scene around. Having the Color Picker panel anchored to the workspace helps with accurate color selection because the panel is steady and anchored in place. The Color Picker panel has a color wheel, gradient bar, 7 color save slots. You can switch the display by clicking the display icon to display a larger square gradient palette as the main display and a color bar on the right side. This display is great for painting a monochromatic scene because after choosing a color from the color bar, that color's gradient can be seen in the larger display area on the left of the panel. VR Art Live community recently held the Tilt Brush Paint-Off competition, and the theme was monochrome. The artists used a monochrome color picker palette to choose their colors. If you would like to watch the full commentary video, the link is below. The color wheel model used in Tilt Brush is the additive color mixing RGB model used to describe light color interactions. The primary colors used in this model are red, green, and blue. Between these primary colors are the color mixes that the main colors make when they're mixed, according to light spectrum, which are cyan, magenta, and yellow. The gradient bar can be used to add white or black to the selected colors for various tints, shades, and tones. The colors on the perimeter of the circle are highly saturated and then fade in saturation and change color tone as you move towards the center point of the circle. About the middle of the radius of the color wheel are the lighter pastel colors. Then closer to the center point of the color wheel are more natural toned colors. True black, white, and grayscale are found at the exact center point of the circle where all the colors mix evenly. It's a little difficult to manually select the center point of the circle, so what I do is choose the black environment from the Environments button on the More panel, and then open the color palette for the skybox to reveal the selected color. Then save the black skybox color in a color slot on the palette with the plus sign. This will save that color across all color palettes. I can then select this from the brushes color palette and access black, white, and gray. Colors can also be selected from a reference photo or an imported color scheme with the color picker tool, which can be found on the Tools panel, or through your quick menu using your brush controller. Import a custom color palette scheme for exact colors you need by using the Media Library Images panel. Just prepare your color palette in whichever app or online source you choose and save it to the Tilt Brush Images folder as a JPEG or PNG file. Then spawn it into your scene through the Media panel. Use the color picker to extract the color, then save it on your color palette. There are some neat tools online to extract color from a photo, to generate a color palette according to a color scheme, and mix colors for the perfect mood. I have left some links below of online resources to help you find the perfect color palette for your painting. See the names of the colors. On the light panel, open the color panel by clicking the color preview box. When you move the selector, the preview box will display the color name. Once you find the color name you're looking for, you can save it on your palette, and then it shows across all color palettes, including the brush color palette, to select and paint with. Turn the lights off. Using the light panel, access the color palette to turn all the lighting off. Slide the gradient bar all the way down to black, and this turns that particular light source off. Use this method to change the look of some light reflective brushes, or create a moody silhouette. Change the brush animation by changing its color intensity using the color gradient bar. A popular question I get is, which brush creates this animation? This is actually the waveform brush, but on the black setting. The saturation of the color used on animated brushes will affect its animation intensity. Watch Tilt Brush Experiments Extreme Animations for more extreme animations that the brushes can make when using the perfect stroke gesture. Congratulations! This concludes part 1 Basics of How to Tilt Brush tutorial series. Join me in part 2 to learn more about VR art techniques and to develop your skills with the brushes and tools available in Tilt Brush, and to learn my best practice techniques I'll answer many technique questions asked about my VR paintings from 365 Days of Tilt Brush, a daily art challenge that I did in 2019. Find all my painted series on my website gallery page, and let me know if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer about any of these paintings. For more VR Art Live performances and entertainment, join the growing community of VR artists and audience in the VR Art Live Discord or on our Facebook group page. Links are below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.